conclude another doubleheader weekend from NXT and WWE, it becomes very evident, once again, it's evident every single time, WWE should just never have NXT prior to the Big Four. Because the Big Four become the Big Snore. Because it just doesn't, it never reaches the height of intensity or interest or anything that NXT is able to give us.
It's like, I mean, okay, they are the Big Four, so it does make sense for NXT to want to like pull from that weekend.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they always, now they're doing it in whatever arena, for the most part, with the exception of WrestleMania, that the pay-per-views are going to be held in.
Right.
So you get more seats that sold that way.
Yeah.
Maybe you should scale it back, though.
Yeah.
Maybe put the takeovers before the not Big Four pay-per-views. Maybe keep the one right before Mania.
Yeah, because you're
so you
always...
keep that in the travel package.
Yeah.
But maybe take things back a step.
Maybe like the weekend...
Put the pay-per-view...
Maybe like the weekend before or something. Like
or put the pay-per-view on Saturday. Put TakeOver on Sunday.
Yeah. That's probably the best way to go. So yeah, Survivor Series. You've already probably seen our TakeOver review. Survivor Series, you know...
I'm going to be honest, I enjoyed it up until the very end.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't...
The end...
It wasn't a bad show. It was just...
There were a lot of physical flubs.
Yes.
A couple technical flubs. No cameramen tripped this time that I
could
see.
But even a cameraman tripping was still easily covered on NXT. But, yeah, so they added 2 more matches to the pre-show, which we didn't get to talk about in our predictions. One being Elias Sampson versus Matt Hardy for reasons.
Because both these guys wanted to be on the show.
Yeah.
No, this was the whole, like, oh shit, we forgot we do 2 hours before the Big Four.
Yeah.
So we need to throw in some random... Who's going to be there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Elias and Matt? Okay.
Who extra do we have? So... Elias Sampson continues winning his winning ways on Raw as he ends up sending Matt's shoulder first into the post and then hits his swinging neck breaker.
Drift away.
The drift away. Our Cruiserweight title was the second match, and unfortunately, it's still the Enzo show, apparently.
Yeah, he won.
Had a weird moment where they were both fighting on opposite sides of the turnbuckle, and I think Kalisto was trying to pull Enzo, but Enzo ended up pulling Kalisto into the...
Yeah, Enzo was like running away, and Kalisto grabbed onto him and was like, get back here, and then Enzo was like, no, you get over here.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Enzo force-fed Kalisto the middle turnbuckle.
Yeah. And then hit the...
And force-fed him his foot.
Yep. Yeah. And, yeah.
Kalisto just had to eat a whole bunch of bad shit.
Yeah. It was all because he made Enzo eat cake.
Doesn't seem like a fair trade-off.
No.
Cake sounds way better.
It's softer. It tastes better. And then our main event of the pre-show was a brand new added tag team match as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn took on Breezango.
And we wonder how that went.
You know, 2 guys with a storyline versus 2 guys with a segment.
It was precursed with a promo that was longer than the match.
Yes. I didn't even pay attention to the promo.
It was just Sami and Kevin bickering about not being on the show. And then Breezango doing their usual stick of talking about how ugly Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are. My favorite part was that Breezango... His voice just gets so weird and deep when he talks. Fandango, I mean.
Yeah.
I just said the whole team.
Yeah.
Fandango. And then he called Sami Zayn a paperboy.
He does kind of look like a paperboy.
I mean, he wears the jacket and the grandpa hat.
Yeah, the grandpa hat.
Sami Zayn's grandpa hat.
But yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn ended up winning. Zayn pulled Owens out of the way of...
And vice versa.
Yeah. Owens pulled Zayn out of the way of the Last Dance from Fandango. Then Fandango got hit with the pop-up powerbomb. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Kevin Owens did something that I think needs to be implemented in more tag team matches, though.
What's that?
Because you have your 5-second count, right?
Yeah.
To be interfering before you get disqualified. Kevin Owens grabbed Sami Zayn and drug him to the corner to tag.
Yeah. It's one of those things that doesn't happen often enough. But
it makes so much sense. Why would you not use... Like, if you have the opportunity and your opponent's team is incapacitated, why don't you take the opportunity to run in, use 5 seconds to pull your partner over to your corner so then you can make a legal tag?
Especially if you're capable of doing so. If you're not capable, then we understand.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're asking, like, Akira Tozawa to try and drag Kane to the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tozawa could do it.
Just yell at him.
Yeah. But anyway, that was our pre-show. So we move into the main card opening with the Shield versus the New Day.
Yeah, didn't expect this to be the opener.
No, not at all. I expected this to be like first or second hour main event, but no, it was our curtain jerker. Fun match. These teams worked really well against each other.
Probably my favorite match of the night, to be completely honest.
I think it was my second favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bar versus the Usos was probably my favorite. But
fair enough.
New Day and the Shield work really well together.
And this was my third favorite.
It's fun. Like that's one thing that both teams have mastered the art of the trios match. Yeah. And they all work very well together. And then the fact that you have two very solid teams, they play off of each other really well.
Yeah, and they're the exact same dynamic for both teams.
Yeah, exactly.
You have
the two fast guys,
two fast-paced guys with a lot of experience, and then you have the bigger guy who's probably not been wrestling quite as long as the other two, but he's still there.
Yeah, he knows his place, and
he's a good base. For the other two guys to jump off of.
Yeah, lots of really good false finishes. Like
the New Day's totem pole move.
Yeah,
was sick.
Kofi, Woods picked up Big E on his shoulders. Then Kofi vaulted over.
Way out of place.
Yeah. Then Kofi vaulted over Big E. Landed. I believe it was on Ambrose. Landed on
Ambrose took all the bad shit.
And then if that wasn't bad enough, then we had Woods actually front slam Big E onto Dean Ambrose. Yeah. So yeah, it was just a shitty situation for Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose survived that. Great teamwork from Seth and Dean still. I love watching them play off of each other. Big E hitting his spear through the ropes. Scary as all hell.
Roman wishes he could do that.
He has his outstretched swan.
Which he hasn't done in a long time.
It's because there's never enough people to catch him on the outside.
No. This would have been a good time to do it.
This would have been a good time to do it, but he didn't.
I think he doesn't do it because he barely clears that rope.
He did hit a really good Superman punch on Xavier Woods, though.
Yeah. And it ended up with all three members of the Shield left in the ring with Kofi Kingston. Yep. Did not go well for Kofi.
No, it went worse for Kofi than it usually does when all three people are in there with one guy.
Yeah, it went worse for Kofi than I've seen it go for just about anybody else with the Shield.
Yeah, because they decided, what's better than a regular Cerberus bomb? How about a super Cerberus bomb? Yeah. Where all three guys stood on the second rope and powerbombed Kofi Kingston. Dean Ambrose muscle posed, and then he pinned him. The Shield.
I think he forgot he was legal.
Yeah, he forgot he had tagged Seth. Or he tagged himself in. So yeah, fun match, starting off with a Shield win.
One for Raw.
Yeah, they actually had the counter.
There's a scorekeeper.
So they had a cool little digital
graphic
where it had each team or each person on either side. It was pretty cool. Then we had our first traditional Survivor Series match, the ladies, of course.
This is kind of what I expected to be the opener.
Yes. Already kind of giving us a lame version of what we were really expecting because, no offense to Natalya, but she wasn't a returning page on the SmackDown side.
Or just a surprise in general.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, you're not champion anymore. There you go. So, order of eliminations. Elimination 1, Becky Lynch was rolled up by Bayley.
Which, to me, was one of the most shocking eliminations of the entire night.
Yeah, so SmackDown captain, the first one eliminated in a very out-of-nowhere kind of way.
It makes me feel like, I feel like, for whatever reason, WWE's really lost their stock in Becky Lynch.
Which is sad, because, I mean, she was your first SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And just because you decided to focus on other people doesn't mean she's lost a step or anything. You just don't get... I mean, the last thing you had her do was beat up James Ellsworth.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much that they could do. So, anyway. Bayley was then eliminated by a Superfly Splash from Tamina. Nia was eliminated by countout after a battle with Tamina on the outside. Alicia was eliminated by a tilt-a-whirl sunset flip by Naomi.
Well, let's dole on this one for a half second.
Okay.
Guys, we did say there was a lot of physical mishaps. This was one of the most apparent.
This particular part of the match was very, like... There were so many eliminations so close, and they were trying to do so many things. And, like, Alicia and Naomi could not communicate.
Yeah, because this is where Naomi... It was the setup for Naomi's submission.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the weird...
That's what it was.
Yeah. I forgot she even tried to get into the submission because
But the ref counted a pin.
Yeah.
While Alicia was on the ground.
Yeah. And, so then Naomi's trying to lock in the submission. The ref's like, no, she got pinned. And
the ref literally actually pushed Alicia Fox out of the ring.
Yeah. Which apparently...
I think he realized he fucked up.
Yeah. And he was just trying to clear the situation because immediately we have Sasha Banks get in and put the bank statement on Naomi, and Naomi taps out. Carmella ate a buzzsaw kick from Asuka because why would you slap her, you moron? Sasha Banks tapped out to the sharpshooter from Natalya. Tamina then tapped out to the flying armbar from Asuka. And finally, Asuka finished Natalya off with the Asuka lock. So
I'm calling it right now. Tamina was the star of this women's match.
She did a really good job. I like watching her and Nia battle it out. That was fun. And yeah, Asuka, this just solidifies her as the next contender for Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Then we had United States Champion versus Intercontinental Champion Baron Corbin.
That was point 2 for Raw.
Yes. Baron Corbin and The Miz. I liked the usage of the entourage.
I like the usage of Maurice.
Yeah, Maurice was
Corbin trash talked and then blew her a kiss, and that sent the Miz off the fucking handle.
Yeah, Bo Dallas taking out the knee of Baron Corbin.
Yeah,
and then Miz immediately using that as a target for most of it. But Miz ended up getting caught up in his I want to be like Daniel Bryan shtick. Went for a second or third drop kick, and Baron Corbin's like, oh, look what I can do. I can step out of the corner and catch him and hit the end of days.
Yeah. Kind of disappointing.
Yeah. It did.
Miz was over.
Oh, absolutely.
With the crowd. I think when it comes down to the two of it, Miz is definitely the more popular between him and Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I think the issue here is I just don't feel like they showed enough of the intensity that Miz was showing in his promos towards Baron Corbin, and the fact that we never actually saw Baron Corbin say anything back to the Miz on SmackDown,
except for his little pep rally speech.
Yeah, I mean, and that was...
So that wasn't much.
Yeah, that was like 3 seconds that he actually got to say anything, and that was answering a Shane McMahon question.
Yeah.
Their match didn't match the hype that Miz was putting into the setup for it. Baron Corbin picking up the first win for SmackDown. Then we had tag team titles versus tag team titles, the Usos versus the Bar.
Match of the night.
This was my favorite match because the Usos again proving that they fucking kill it with everybody.
Yeah.
And the Bar being fantastic bases and just an extra physical force in this match.
What this match had that all four of these guys are really, really good at is timing.
Yes.
Timing to break up pins.
Yeah, no.
Timing to counter moves. Timing to get in the way of moves.
The false finishes for this match were in abundance, and everyone was different, and everyone worked the way it needed to.
They were nail-biter finish situations.
Yeah, it was so well done.
That made you go, oh shit, when somebody broke up the pin, or somebody kicked out, you're like, oh boy, I thought that was going to be it, like over and over and over again.
Yeah. And just some fantastic tag team work on both sides. I mean, these are two extremely legitimate tag team wrestlers.
Yeah.
You can have tag teams that might work better as singles, but both of these teams know how to work a tag team match. So much fun to watch. And we finish it off with Cesaro getting dumped to the outside, Sheamus getting 2 single super kicks, and then a super kick on either side of his head, and then Jimmy flying tags in Jay, Jimmy diving onto Cesaro, allowing Jay to hit the Superfly Splash.
Concussing himself on the announcer's table.
Yes. Allowing Jay to Superfly Splash, Sheamus in the ring, and the Usos pick up the win over the Bar. I got that backwards. Jimmy splashed on Sheamus. My bad. Still, oh man. Yeah, no, that was by far my favorite match. Then we went to our second ladies match where we had champion versus champion, Charlotte versus Alexa. I really enjoyed what they did.
Yeah, there were times where definitely part is the size difference between the two of them.
Yes.
Made some of the moves not fluid.
Yeah, Charlotte is
too tall.
The second tallest woman in the company, and then Alexa is one of the smallest, if not the smallest. It's definitely, for some reason Charlotte makes it work with people like Sasha, and she makes it work with Becky Lynch. But yeah, Alexa needs someone who's more her size to really match that the athleticism that she, because I mean she's really good when she has someone who is a similar size, but it's hard for her to work against a taller opponent, which is why they probably never really wanted to do a full-fledged her versus Nia, because it just wouldn't work. But I think she did a better job against Charlotte than she ever would against Nia. And again, some great back and forth stuff. Some decent near falls. Charlotte wasn't as over as she is in some places. I think Alexa was definitely the more over.
I think here's the issue. I think Alexa would be more over just about anywhere else. There are going to be fewer cities where Charlotte will be more over than Alexa in this scenario.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing is Charlotte and Sasha are great, but they got so overdone so quickly that now the crowd doesn't have that pizzazz factor whenever they come out.
Yeah.
It's just not as... we had a great reaction on SmackDown. Because they were in Charlotte.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'd be a great crowd reaction the other way too, but what am I saying?
Moving on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Alexa ends up trying to go for Twisted Bliss, ends up getting the full knees from Charlotte. Charlotte waits for her to get up, hits a big old boot to the face, locks in the figure 8, and Charlotte defeats Alexa Bliss.
Putting the teams now at 2-2.
Yes.
No, this was up 1 for SmackDown.
Yeah, that's up 1 for SmackDown.
So now it's 2-3.
Yes.
In SmackDown's favor.
Yes. And then, as if Charlotte versus Alexa wasn't a mismatch, we went to Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles.
Not quite the same height mismatch
but
as Charlotte versus Alexa, but still a mismatch.
But a mismatch nonetheless.
Let's be real. I put this down as my second favorite match of the night.
I'm not putting it down as my second favorite because it pretty much went the way I expected it to. Just with AJ actually having more of a chance than I expected. I like the way it went in this is that despite the amount of just devastation that was put onto AJ, he waited for that moment.
Yeah.
And he used that moment to capitalize, which most people don't do with Brock.
Yeah, I think a big thing is focusing on telling the story. Brock's offense is explosive.
Yes.
The suplexes. He throws you across the room, or he sprints across the ring to throw a knee or a shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So if you wait out Brock, he's going to get winded pretty fast. And that's exactly what happened is AJ just withstood 6 straight minutes of Brock doing whatever he needed. And that's when AJ started going, okay, I've absorbed all the punishment, but I'm like my cardio shape, I'm still there. I'm going to start throwing kicks to Lesnar's knees. Yeah. I'm going to Pele him in the back of the head.
Well, and it worked because he waited for that moment where Brock decided to set up for one of those running knees, and Brock ends up kneeing the turnbuckle, and then immediately AJ just drop kicks the knee out from under him.
Yeah.
And then that was able to set up the Pele, and AJ actually had a good bit of momentum there for a while, being able to just land a bunch of strikes.
We had a lot of close calls for AJ to beat Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
He hit that Pele kick, which immediately put Lesnar in a dazed and confused state.
Yeah.
He hit a springboard 450. He hit the springboard or slingshot forearm to the outside. He hit a phenomenal forearm at one point, I'm pretty sure.
He attempted a Styles Clash. That didn't happen.
Yeah, that was the biggest questionable choice of AJ Styles' career, maybe. Yeah, I liked it. I liked the fact that Brock sold. Brock's last few matches, I've really enjoyed. I feel like the Goldberg run has made Brock take himself a little less seriously. He doesn't feel like he needs, he did this thing, and he helped Goldberg out, got Goldberg over, and I was just like, you know what? I don't have to give everyone no offense and no sell everything.
Yeah, I think the main thing that this does that I appreciate is now it feels like more people have a chance against Brock Lesnar. And that's what I wanted. I don't want to go into a match where I feel like this person is just going to get destroyed.
Speaking of having a chance against Brock Lesnar, AJ didn't.
No, AJ made the mistake of going to the well one too many times.
Yep.
And he attempted a final phenomenal forearm.
Brock caught him. Blew out his knee.
Yeah, and his knee buckled a bit, but he did get the F5 hit on AJ, and Brock Lesnar defeated AJ Styles.
It'll be interesting to see if Lesnar is sustaining because this could also be a moment of brilliance. Because this could be a legitimate injury, much in the way of Drew getting hurt at the main event of TakeOver.
Yep.
Or it could be legitimately brilliant selling from Brock. Because he spent like a minute and a half in the calf crusher.
That's true. That was one of those moments where it was a close call. Like there was
it almost looked like AJ could have beaten Brock by submission.
Yeah.
So, I think the best takeaway for me out of this match, and this is one of the reasons why I vote it so highly in my opinion, which I don't normally go super high with a Brock match, except for the most recent ones, is that AJ lost, but didn't look weak.
Yeah.
Against Brock Lesnar.
I will definitely give it that credit. Absolutely.
You know, the same thing with Joe and Strowman is Lesnar beat them and did so in a fashion that made Lesnar look strong, but in no way did it diminish the way Braun Strowman or Samoa Joe looked as wrestlers.
Yes. All right, then we head to our main event, the Men's Survivor Series elimination match. I think one thing that this match suffered from is we never had a real confrontation between anyone on the Survivor Series team except for Shane and Kurt.
Yeah.
There was never like a moment where, you know, other than Braun Strowman kind of running through people, which was just kind of anyone that was in his way, there was never like a Bobby Roode versus, you know, Finn Balor or a Samoa Joe again versus Shinsuke or anything like that. There was never that matchup that like added a little bit more issue. And plus with the last additions being Triple H and John Cena at the last moments, there was no chance for either of them to interact. There wasn't extra build to really make these teams dislike each other, other than the issues between the brands invading each other.
Yeah. So, I mean, the beginning part I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Because it was the pop the crowd moment, where it was like, let's have both teams do a lot of tagging in and out, so you see different combinations that you would never see before.
Yeah,
in the ring against each other.
You know,
Triple H and Shinsuke, Triple H and Bobby Roode, Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode, John Cena and Finn Balor were in there with each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all these combos that you don't normally see together. That's cool.
Yeah.
It became very apparent that Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Kurt was in a funk or something.
Yeah.
There's something definitely wrong with Kurt.
Because he was moving very slowly. He bumped fine. The bumps were good.
And he was in the match for a while.
Yeah.
He was literally there until the end of the match.
Yeah. Still a couple issues. A couple little botchy spots. People coming back after they're eliminated.
Yeah. Because rather our first two eliminations were Shinsuke and Bobby Roode, both with power slams by Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Shinsuke tried really hard. Even did some damage.
Yeah. I mean, he's got hammer knees, so.
But Braun caught him and power slammed him. Mm-hmm. Then we had like the first biggest, most obvious botch of the match. It's Bobby Roode trying to go for his blockbuster a second time, and Strowman was trying to catch him. And so Roode just fell.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to catch him into like a suplex.
Roode just fell, so Strowman just picked him up and power slammed him right on the spot.
Yeah. So then Braun is in by himself and ends up going against just Orton and Cena. And it's a lot of Orton and Cena teaming up, trying to take out Braun. They decide to take him out and try and suplex him through the table. They can't do it by themselves, so then Shane and Roode and Shinsuke all come over, so they just dump Braun through the table, and Braun is out.
Which the table then attacks Randy Orton.
Yeah, the whole thing just like...
The front end of the table, because the front end of the table collapses forward, usually.
And it hit
took
Randy
Orton out of
the
the knees.
It was bad. It was a bad spot.
But there still hasn't been an actual elimination to the Raw team yet.
No. Until Samoa Joe is eliminated from an AA by John Cena.
Yeah.
Cena is then eliminated via a coup de grace and angle slam, and then Kurt Angle pins him.
Here's one of my other biggest issues in the match. Why was John Cena there? Like, to be completely honest, he's a big name.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything in the match.
No.
He came in, he did his shtick, he did his 5 moves to doom to Kurt, he eliminated Samoa Joe, but the match didn't benefit from John being there.
Yeah.
John is a great main event guy, but
the
fact that he had nothing to do with the storyline whatsoever.
Yeah.
Made no sense to have him in there in the first place, other than we want to have a big name on our team. But his presence in the match made John Cena seem like he was the mid-card guy on the team.
Yeah.
Everyone else got bigger shit.
Yes. Finn Balor then had a little back and forth with Randy Orton, and then was eliminated by an RKO. Then Braun made his way back to ringside, and not long after eliminated Randy Orton with a power slam. Then things got weird, because Shane is by himself against Braun, Triple H, and Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Shane tries to stall as long as possible.
Yeah, he just kind of
to the point where I got irritated.
Yeah, he was like he was. Well, he did get shit whip drop kicked into the guardrail by Finn Balor, so he was probably trying to shake some cobwebs out of his head. And then he realized that he had Kurt, Braun, and Triple H.
Yeah, so he grabbed a chair even and made like he was going to get in the ring with a chair. One of the referees on the outside took the chair away from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, this stall took a long time, got irritating, and then he finally got in the ring.
And then it was a fight over who was going to eliminate Shane, because Braun was already legal.
Yeah.
And then Triple H tagged himself in and says, "No, I want to go after him." So Triple H and Shane.
And then we have this whole ooh, brother-in-law versus brother-in-law.
Yeah. And then so they stare each other down, and then Kurt Angle's like, "No," tags Triple H and says, "No, I want him.
Team captain
He's
versus
mine."
team captain.
Yeah. So
there's a little an exchange.
Yeah,
between Shane and
we had shoving between Triple H and Braun, and then we had shoving between Triple H and Kurt, and Shane tried to take advantage by rolling Kurt up. Kurt kicks out, and then it's
suplexes, ankle slams.
It was a good exchange between Shane and Kurt. I liked this was the most active that Kurt got, and it was fun to watch. And then Kurt ends up getting Shane in the ankle lock, and he's in the ankle lock for quite a bit.
And this is where the match took a turn for me, where it might have been at top 5 of the night, but it went down to like least favorite.
Yeah, because for some reason, I mean, I this was my whole basis for choosing Team SmackDown, is that Team Raw wasn't going to get along, but in the strangest way possible, Team Raw didn't get along because Triple H didn't want Kurt Angle to beat Shane nor be in the match. So he just pedigreed Kurt and rolled Shane on top.
Kurt didn't have a clue what the fuck was going on.
There were a few moments where it looked like Kurt didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, like especially at that point in the match.
Yeah.
Because when he turned around and like when Triple H pulled him off of Shane and kicked him, like Kurt seemed confused.
Yeah.
And like took the pedigree funky.
Yeah.
Which makes me think maybe this was a call made on the fly.
Maybe.
If it was, wrong call.
Yeah. So Kurt Angle gets eliminated.
Because he just pulled Shane on top of him.
Yeah, and so then Triple H like kind of pulls Shane off. Kurt gets shoved out of the ring, and Braun is just looking at Triple H like, "What the fuck did you just do?"
Yeah, Braun is on the outside now, just confused to all hell, like every other single person watching Survivor Series right
now. And so Triple H is staring him down. He's saying a few things. I'm not sure what he was saying.
And Shane starts getting up. And Triple H and Shane start Triple H stands next to Shane.
Yeah, and he's like
as if he's maybe gonna protect Shane from Braun.
Yeah, and he's like pseudo picking him up, asking him if he's okay, and Shane's like struggling to get to his feet, and he's just like selling the ankle and everything, and he finally gets up to his feet, and then Triple H hits a pedigree and pins Shane. I feel like I know what they're going to do, but it's stupid. They're gonna say, tomorrow on Raw, they're gonna say Kurt Angle didn't do enough, and Triple H felt like the only way Raw was gonna win is if they got Kurt out of the match.
Here's what I want to say will be my logical explanation. Triple H wanted to turn. And then changed his mind when he saw angry Braun Strowman.
Yeah, and angry Braun Strowman stayed a thing because Braun was still completely and utterly confused as to what Triple H had just done.
Yeah, so he yelled at Triple H.
And Triple H was like, "Hey man, it's cool. We won. Raw won. It's cool. Don't worry about it."
Then he memed the hell out of Triple H in the corner.
Yeah, no, he choked Triple H into the corner and said, "If you ever ruin my chance of elimination again, I will." He's just yelling angry things at Triple H while Triple H is like, "They don't fucking kill me" in the corner.
But Braun was well enough ready to leave it alone.
Yeah, he was cool. He's like, "Hey, I got my point across. I'm gonna leave."
Then Triple H decided he wanted to get in Braun's face.
And then he got power slammed. Twice. And so Braun won Survivor Series because he's the only one that walked out on his own power at the end.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, fun match to the extent of seeing all the different random combinations of Raw versus SmackDown guys. Once the elimination started rolling in, though, it just kind of turned into mush.
Yeah. So, yeah. Only one more pay-per-view for the rest of the year. SmackDown gets Clash of Champions.
Woo!
That's it. And then we go into 2018.
Rumble season. It's my favorite.
Mania season. It's coming up quick. That is it for our review of Survivor Series. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click the links.
There's so many links.
Like a podcast.
That's the SoundCloud link.
And Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
It's Reasonable the W.
Like, what the fuck happened to Survivor Series?
Why main event? Why?
Anyway, there will be an unboxing in just a couple of days. As it should be arriving by Monday or Tuesday. But you can also stay on this YouTube channel. Go back and check out our NXT Takeover review. We had a lot of fun with that one. And then, of course, whether you go to YouTube or podcast, coming up next will be our regular reviews of the week, starting with the indie news. But for now, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next. Fuck swerve endings.
Fuck that finish.
And fuck Enzo. For still being original.
Yeah, thank you.